It is business time now. Stephen Carroll is here. Stephen, we're going to start in Russia. Argentina is heading there, trying to cash in on the latest ban on European imports of fruit.
A high-level delegation that includes the country's agriculture and industry ministers will be meeting officials in Moscow later. They're hoping to sign deals to sell their fruit, poultry, beef and dairy products to Russia. It's a potentially huge opportunity for the Argentinian economy, which is facing difficulty after defaulting on its debts at the end of July. The head of the country's dairy industry body says it could represent a 20% boost in exports. Of course, those import bans were a reaction to the sanctions imposed on Russia by the EU, the US and others, but they didn't stop the Russian oil company Rosneft from drilling its first well in the Norwegian Arctic. With the help of Norway's Statoil, Rosneft won a 20% stake in the Barents Sea oil field earlier this year. Norway has joined the EU in imposing tough measures against Rosneft and its boss, but this venture will continue because the sanctions will only apply to future deals.
Let's take a look through what's happening on the markets then.
Yeah, well, a fairly positive lead from Wall Street overnight is helping things in Asia today. All of the main Asian markets, as you can see, they're trading in positive territory. The Nikkei in Japan being helped by a jump in the shares of airline Skymark. They're up almost 28% in trading earlier after news of a possible takeover by AirAsia.
Okay, we're going to take you to China next. Stephen, it seems Mercedes-Benz is the latest firm to be found guilty of price fixing.
Yeah, the Chinese government says the luxury branch of car maker Daimler broke an anti-monopoly law by charging excessive prices for its parts. It follows similar condemnations of brands Audi and Chrysler, as Delano D'Souza now reports.
Guilty of price fixing in China. Local media are reporting investigators for China's antitrust agency found the price of Mercedes-Benz spare parts too high. So much so that purchasing all the parts needed to make a Mercedes-Benz C-Class would cost 12 times more than buying a new vehicle. Legal experts say China is seeking new sway over the prices paid by its consumers.
So by enforcing these laws, they're actually making the foreign-branded products more affordable to the market, which in the end is going to make it harder for Chinese-branded car makers to compete against them.
For now, there is no indication to what sort of penalty Mercedes is likely to face. Foreign automakers say they're being unfairly targeted and they have little choice but to increase the price of cars and parts due to high import duties. Just last week, authorities in the province of Hubei said some Audi dealers had violated monopoly laws. They also fined 4 BMW dealerships $260,000 for charging consumers for services that should be free. China has been intensifying its efforts to bring foreign companies in line with its anti-monopoly law enacted in 2008. In the past 2 years, regulators have launched investigations into technology, pharmaceutical and dairy companies, moves that have pushed the prices charged to consumers down.
Some more of the day's companies news for you now. And Stephen, we're going to start with bad news for one bank.
And that bank is Standard Chartered. It's to pay another $300 million to New York's banking regulator to settle claims it failed to identify suspicious transactions. Reports in the Financial Times say the settlement could be announced as soon as this week. The inquiry is a follow-up to a previous fine paid by the bank in 2012 for violating sanctions with Iran and other countries. Standard Chartered is accused of not improving its procedures since then. PricewaterhouseCoopers has agreed to pay a fine of $25 million for altering a report on a bank's activities. The consulting firm is accused of watering down an anti-money laundering report for Bank of Tokyo Mitsubishi. The settlement will also see PwC banned from doing consulting work for New York regulated banks for 2 years. And America's top discount retailer Dollar General has offered almost $9 billion to buy its rival Family Dollar. It's an attempt to trump a rival bid from Dollar Tree worth $8.5 billion. A merger with Dollar General would create an industry giant, annual sales worth more than $28 billion.
Right, finally now, the man behind one of the biggest mobile gaming crazes of the last year has got a new game out.
Catherine, you might remember us talking earlier in the year about the game called Flappy Bird. It was very frustrating for those that loved it because it was very difficult to do well on, but it was the top downloaded game on the App Store earlier this year. 50 million people downloaded it until its creator, Dong Nguyen, pulled it from sale because he said that the popularity had ruined his life. Now, it led to the game being sold on phones for thousands of dollars. But now he's back with a new game. It's called Swingcopters. To play, you have to try to navigate by tapping your phone to move the character with a propeller hat up the screen. As you can see, they're avoiding as many obstacles as possible. The game goes on sale this Thursday. It remains to be seen if it'll be quite as big a success as Flappy Bird.
Very interesting indeed. I think I'm still a Tetris girl at heart. All this newfangled stuff is not for me. Thanks very much. All the same, Stephen Carroll there with a look through the latest business news for you. Time now for us to check out what's making headlines online, including an unusual charity fundraising craze. It is Web News.
Throw a freezing cold bucket of water over your head and nominate friends to do the same. This is the new craze sweeping the web. It's called the Ice Bucket Challenge, and it's for a good cause because anyone who refuses the challenge has to make a donation to a charity or association that deals with neurodegenerative diseases.
All right, here we go.
As we can see here, Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg completed the challenge on August 13th, taking the trend to the world of celebrities. He went on to nominate Microsoft boss Bill Gates, who also pulled it off. And now other famous faces are taking on the Ice Bucket Challenge. From the movie world, Steven Spielberg and Ben Stiller, and also from the sporting world with American basketball player LeBron James, for example, or Brazilian football star Neymar. So the aim is to raise awareness and, of course, to raise funds for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, which is called motor neurone disease in the UK. And as the ALS Foundation, which specialises in research for diseases of the nervous system, reports on its website, it's proving extremely successful, with the Ice Bucket Challenge raising over $13 million in just 3 months. And as these Twitter messages will testify, people suffering from ALS and their families have been deeply touched by this wave of solidarity, and have been saying how important the Ice Bucket Challenge is in raising awareness for this crippling disease. On August 11th, 4-year-old Eliane Miro from Quebec featured in a Facebook message explaining how she lost her cuddly toy at the Hot Air Balloon Festival in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. Her mum posted the message to the social network, and it was soon widely shared with countless web users intent on helping the little girl find her stuffed toy. Eliane's Facebook appeal was shared over 270,000 times and also spread to Twitter. It also garnered support from some well-known local faces, including radio presenter Véronique Cloutier and actress Catherine Trudeau. And the vast mobilisation for Eliane Miro paid off. Just 24 hours after her plea was posted to Facebook, a woman named Eugénie David handed the lost toy into the Lost and Found office at the Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu festival. Something she wouldn't have done had she not learnt online that a child was searching for their lost toy. Evelyne Miro has since posted another message to Facebook in which she thanks the woman who found her daughter's missing toy and expresses her gratitude to the thousands of people who took action to help find it. And little Eliane has also said thank you and posed for a very happy photo alongside her precious cuddly toy. American artist Lucinda Wieringa has been a professional sand sculptor for over 30 years and is now sharing photos of some of her best pieces, like these impressive sandcastles, on Instagram. Temporary artworks that are proving hugely popular online. She already has over 13,000 followers. Two hours and 15 minutes, that's how long it takes to walk across Paris from north to south. If you hailed one of the 19,612 taxis in the French capital, it wouldn't take nearly so long. This infographic was put together by France.fr and features all manner of interesting facts and figures about Paris. Did you know the pigeon population is estimated at around 90,000? Or that the sewer rats get rid of 9 kilos of trash every second? The Everest Avalanche Tragedy app takes you up the 8,848 metres of Mount Everest in the Himalayas. The interactive tool was developed by the Sherpa Foundation in tribute to the 16 Nepalese guides who were killed in an avalanche on April 18th. The interactive simulation also features the devastating radio recordings from the day of the avalanche. In this video, we see French breakdance champion Arthur Cadre showcasing his talent in an impressive display. And you can watch the video in its entirety on the GoPro YouTube channel.
Hey.